Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over a couple of teams with the new mythic Ketras the Bull. He is in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest this week, exclusive, and then we'll be in the drop pool with all other mythics after this week. So let's get into a few teams. There's quite a few different variations that we can use with him, either around red or around skulls. As far as his actual stats, he deals damage to a single target boosted by his attack, life, and armor. Pretty decent at getting one-shots. Unfortunately, his base values doesn't actually give him enough for a one-shot. They may rebalance him upwards in the future. As of currently, he's pretty average. When fully traded, he does gain 2 attack, armor, and life when matching red gems, and many of these teams are going to be utilizing that. So we'll start off with this one. Here's about the safest we can possibly go with it. We'll have a Gorgolfa up front, Mercy to get it up quickly. We'll use the Gorgolfa, and then we'll be able to get the Hellcat. The Hellcat will then feed us all the mana we need, and we can go from there. Unfortunately, do not have Mercy alignment from turn 1. Of course, that would always be ideal. We'll just let him poke the skulls. We have a Gorgolfa up front, so it doesn't matter how many skulls he takes. It isn't going to put us at any disadvantage. We'll just keep giving it to him, as it's actually more beneficial for him to take skulls than for us, especially since he has stone skin as well. So we'll just need to keep feeding our Gorgolfa mana. Ideally, we can try... Oh, yeah, doing something like that. Getting the nice little yellows there. Could have probably had him up the previous turn then. So we'll just go for a little bit of green, get it on both of them, and hopefully we can do something out of Mercy right there since I missed the first one. Well, we can't really extra turn it, but we have 2 spots where we get mana, so we might as well go for it. Use our Gorgolfa, and we do get an extra turn out of it from the Cascade. Nice. So we'll just get that. We have his ability up, and we can just keep getting the Hellcat and giving him the reds he needs to be able to boost up. As you can see right here, if we go and cast this will not be enough to actually kill him. If we go and cast only 65 damage for Mythic at 24 mana cost, given that he has no buffs, that is surprisingly low. I don't know if they'll rebalance that in the future, but that is surprisingly low. Not even enough to one-shot with that, unfortunately. But as we get it buffed up with more and more red, it'll just become bigger and bigger. He's kind of like the Great Maul in that regard. Great Maul, whenever you take skulls, will end up getting 2 to all stats, whereas he does 2 to all stats except magic whenever you take red. So basically the same concept, different colors. And oh nope, we didn't get alignment there, but we do have it on the bottom, so we can go and feed that to our Hellcat, give it right back to our Bull, and go from there. And luckily the Hellcat will be tapping them, and those taps will hopefully drag it down to the point where we can actually start one-shotting with it. So right there we have a Mercy, but we don't have her mana, so I guess we'll just take it. Can we use these reds? Doesn't look like it. So, well, yes we can. We can do it on green. Don't really want to deny green since we do need that little bit more mana, but we need the buff on it a lot more. Every single red we take is 2 additional damage on him. And Mercy doesn't look like we have, so we'll just wait. That should be enough to kill. And yeah, there we go on the 80 damage.
Mana surge.
Throw that more Mercy, Hellcat, then the Hellcat back into the Bull, and you just keep repeating that until you win. And Hellcat will help us be able to get those taps that we'll need to bring them to a point where we can indeed one-shot them. It does take quite a bit of buffing to get it there. Definitely not worth it in many instances. The Skull Spam teams I found to be just slightly better, simply because you can utilize him more for his boosted stats rather than just trying to poke like this. This is similar to actually how a War functions, except War also gets burn on everything. Whenever it does, because you basically with a War just keep buffing up its attack till it can one-shot, whereas this is essentially the same thing, same mana cost, same general premise as far as how War works. Okay, so we should be, come on, a little bit more mana. I don't think we have it anywhere on the board, so we'll explode it, just tap it, and that will be the match. But yeah, compared to something like a Guard's Avatar, definitely doesn't have that really quick killing ability. It's a little bit tankier than some of the other mythics, such as a War, War is very flimsy, whereas if you put him first slot, he's not as bad. You can't actually put him against like a skull spam or anything, but better than a War as far as like first slotting is concerned. So here we go with a all Damon team. Interesting. That could be a little bit annoying, especially since we have a Gorgolfa up front there. But we'll see how it works. We'll see what happens. It's interesting that we're up against the second War too, because both of them are really similar. Both the Bull and War are War is the more offensive attack version, whereas this is kind of more of a defensive version of it, because it's the same general premise. It deals a large amount of attack to a single target, except his is boosted by only attack at a 1-to-1, whereas the Bull's is attack, life, and armor at a 1-to-3 because it's taking 3 different stats. So same general premise in that regard. Okay, we didn't get the red there. Do want to rush the Hellcat pretty much every time on any team that is using a Hellcat with it, which you normally would. It doesn't have any mana conflict, and it'll feed the reds if you happen to have it fully traded. As far as fully trading this mythic, I don't really feel like it's one that you'll really want to get around to. You can definitely try obtaining him, but as far as compared to other mythic drops out there, he's nothing really special in his current state. Though they always do rebalance it, so we don't know if they're going to rebalance it to something even better. We'll find out in the near future. But you can see right there, we really good to use with Courage as well. You can see we're using a Courage. Courage can give us the reds, and anytime we take a skull, we'll also be boosting. So any red we take, we boost, and any skull we take, we boost, which are the main two things we'll want to be aiming for with pretty much any team that we use when using this Bull. A little bit annoying since he does have a bit of a wall there. Nothing we can do in this single instance, so we'll just throw that at Gorgolfa to be able to take out all of his tankiness.
Mana surge.
Okay, what can we get out of this? Green won't do anything still. I might go for it and hope we get the Cascade. We'll just have to go for that. So let's see what happens here. Come on. Can we get lucky enough?
Surge.
Well, we got our Hellcat, and we'll be able to go from there. He is taking the reds, which is disabling us quite a bit. I could do this on yellow. Definitely not a color I would want to do because we want to keep it for our Alchemist. But it gave so much red that we might as well. So get some of our purple, get that back, get a nice skull to kill out the Gorgolfa. Don't need that color. Come on, let's see. We can almost re-get an Alchemist. That's not too bad, but we'll just throw this at skulls. This gives us two of the things we need. We boost off of reds, we boost off the skulls. Really nice if we can keep a Courage looping. Not too likely, but we do have a pretty good board set up for it right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get that, and you can see he's boosting off the red as well. And as long as we can keep spamming this Courage, it should be good. And nope, we end up missing, but we do get those one-shot skulls. And as you can see, he does have that armored, so he will mitigate some of the damage that he takes from stuff like that. Then we just throw this one more time. Actually, we could have thrown his ability there in this one, but Courage will do the exact same thing as well. And you can see he gets some pretty decent attack. Even if we happen to lose it, we have the rest of the team that's being buffed by the fully traded Courage. It is definitely advised having a fully traded Courage if you're going to be doing this Bull. It is pretty expensive to try to make some of the teams with them. Ooh, a Bone Dragon. I don't think we can get away with using this team against a Bone Dragon. He's not that tanky to be able to take on something like that. So we will re-roll into another Bone Dragon. Good job. Can someone not use a Bone Dragon, please? Only 3 more weeks of Bone Dragon. Here we go. There's a not Bone Dragon. So let's try this. Essentially a very similar team as what we were using before, except now we're using it with a Bone Dragon, a little bit more skull oriented. We'll also have the Apothecary in case we need a cleanse, in case we get like that stun that Emperor Corvash has or something like that. We'll be able to use that, just cleanse it right off, and we'll be able to use our traits as normal. So what is our starting move here? We'll probably go for the extra turn, drop that, get a little bit of mana. We can take that for extra turn. We can also take double purple, which I think I may go for, as it will give us the highest chance of getting the Bone Dragon up right now. And neither of them surge. Well, that's unfortunate. Gave it a lot of mana and all. Oh gosh, really? Famine up in a single turn like that? That's pretty interesting. Well, there goes our chance of getting a Bone Dragon. Guess it didn't even matter if we surged, because you would have gotten the drain regardless. Definitely not a good way to start off a battle, that is for sure. Well, let's start getting Apothecary up. We may be needing that cleanse for that Corvash that's coming up soon. Oh, actually, where I placed my Apothecary, we won't actually be able to do that effectively. So, a little bit of oversight there, because he's going to drain that one as well. We can't take the purples there, because he'll just get that as well. Let's see. And since we don't use yellow, we obviously can't go for any yellow. I can bait out skulls right here. I think it may be worth it. So we'll just do that for now. Delay him at least one more turn, so we can get something off. Okay, he's not getting famine mana as of yet. If we can just rush Bone Dragon again, that would be pretty decent. Still, 3 purples and we haven't gotten a single Surge yet. Come on, Surges, where are you? Yeah, even if we get the Surge on Brown right now, that's not going to be enough mana for full. I'm still going to go for it, though, because we do need to start getting some more damage. Oh, yeah, never mind. He's being blocked by Brown. We can only take it on purple. We've taken purple so many times in a row, I almost forgot that he is indeed blocked on that color. And because of this in first slot, this bull, I'm still trying to figure out the armor trait on this. Because putting it in first slot, it keeps getting hit like this. But if you put it in a different slot, then it's so ridiculously slow that it kind of doesn't really work out. But, yeah. As far as the Mythic is concerned, definitely not one of the better ones, that's for sure. Could definitely use some reworking in the future. If we take this skull right there, he'll take that. Of course, our luck isn't doing that well either. That doesn't help. Okay, so we'll just take our yellows here. Will we even be able to get one skull spam? Well, we got our ability up. He's going to take another skull, and that's going to also take away a good majority of our damage potential. He's going to get a drain on both of them. Not much I can really do about that. He'll probably get the kill on the other as well. I guess I'll throw it on the Famine. He is going to start every single turn doing the armor sum, but that would be a pretty nice thing to get out of the way. We'll likely do the next one on Corvash if we even get a next one, which we likely won't. He'll get the drain off right there, so we might just need to use the Bone Dragon carry. As long as the Bone Dragon can survive, we'll probably be fine, though he does have a Famine that can kill it at pretty much any instance. And trying to do any move that we can really get Famine out of, which is, or sorry, Bone Dragon out of, which is why I tried going for the purple drop right there. So we'll just keep poking at the purple, so we'll get Creeping Death, and yep, that is the match. So let's try that again. Can we get the skull spam? Maybe we should just Bone Dragon against it. Well, here we go against a Cerberus. And yeah, defend team still all Merilith, trying to bait out those so we can get more revenge battles. Okay, a little bit of an interesting team. We could probably lose to this too, but let's see if we can utilize this correctly. Ideally, what would happen is they will never take any skulls against us. This is one of the teams that we don't want them taking skulls. And of course, with the previous battle, that didn't quite work out. But let's see if we can make it work this time. So we'll want to go straight for the reds up here. Of course, that skull we'll most likely want to take. I do kind of want the brown, but of course it will just be blocked. So we'll just go skull. We'll get a little bit of courage buff. Let's see. Can we get any purples? Yes, we can. So we'll go for, we could go for red too. The main problem with this thing in first slot, problem that many mythics have is it's why you kind of use Hellcat with it. It's blocking so much mana that you normally can't get some of your vital other troops. That's an issue that tends to happen with almost every single mythic. This can be negated somewhat with this most current mythic just by putting a Hellcat with it, but of course if trying to do some of these other teams, like this one, you can see we're having a lot more trouble than the previous two which used the Hellcat, simply because we are just having mana conflicts, where we can't really get all the mana we need because he's in the way with 24 mana blockage. But pretty much every mythic ends up having that issue due to covering 3 colors with a very high mana cost. But this time we're getting the more ideal way that it should have been doing the first time, where we just keep boosting up and up and up, and it ends up working out pretty nicely. I believe that's enough to kill, so I'm going to go for that. So yeah, we'll kill that out so we don't get the ability. He will get a skull out of it and a poison. To be a little bit annoying as it reduces down our stats, but kind of have to do it. Take our nice reds there, that'll keep boosting us up. We'll want to get as many of those in skulls as possible. So there we go, he gives it to us for free. We'll take the skull, and yeah, this is how it should have went. It's a little bit hard keeping its stats up. Of course, if you start falling behind with this troop, you're pretty much just dead, because especially if it's first slot, because it's not coming back from that. It's just going to keep going down until it's pretty much a useless troop. Okay, just gave it a little red, but it doesn't actually use red until it gets a summon off. Only thing that could really happen that would be bad at this point is if it can get a devour off, which may end up happening. And of course, all that skull damage is indeed mitigating how much damage we'll be able to do by quite a bit. Every single skull is taking out a pretty huge chunk of our damage potential. If we lose 21 HP to like one of those skulls or armor, it doesn't matter, any of the 3 stats, we're losing 7 potential damage on him, which is quite a lot, especially since he doesn't gain too much too quickly. He's kind of like a slow buffer. But let's see, is that even enough? I don't believe that is. No, that is definitely not enough. So we'll just take a skull and then kill it with his ability as long as it doesn't get devoured right here. Oh, there goes a devour, so we'll have to deal with that. Right on the Bone Dragon too, which is a little bit annoying, but we'll be able to use that, and still not even a kill. Seeing something like that not get a kill is a little bit disheartening, but we get the cleanse right there. Oh, that was Cascade ruined the extra turn I was going to go for off the Brown. We don't have something like a Mercy, so we'll just have to take the standard skull. It could technically win if it keeps getting Devours off every single time, which is pretty unlikely, but plausible. Since we don't use yellow, we'll just convert that out. And can we take a free skull? No, we cannot. That is... let's see. We'll just take this then, get a little bit of reds for our buff. It'll also give us courage, so we can start casting courage.
Mana surge.
So we'll throw that down, hopefully get a skull into the ability, and that is the max. So there we go, skull. And we'll just let it pan out its turn, and I believe we win, since it can't get Devour off unless it gets a really weird extra turn, which it doesn't, and there it goes on the blade. So yeah, that is the Bull. Very similar play style to that of War, though similar to that of War, if it doesn't get rebalanced, it'll basically be one of those troops, or one of those mythics that kind of don't really get used anymore for the most part. As far as using it with Wild Plains, you may have noticed I didn't really use any all Wild Plains. One pretty good thing from Wild Plains that it does synergize with is Sunweaver. The main reason I didn't use it is I found looping teams to be slightly better than it, mainly with Hellcat. Hellcat is actually more efficient if you have it fully traded than what a Sunweaver will, but if you don't have any traits on it and you happen to get it from a drop, definitely consider just putting a Sunweaver with it, and it'll work decently since that doesn't have any mana conflict between them. Anyways, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Best of luck any of you that are looking for it in chess, though it, as in its current state, it isn't really too needed to have. They may buff it in the future, but we don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say don't get it, but you definitely don't need to waste too many resources to attempt getting it, that is for sure. Anyways, hope you all have a wonderful day. I will be streaming it later, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.